A divorced couple reunites.
You were engaged to be married. I mean, it was.
That's just not true what she just said.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
You know, I'm going to throw you both out.
Now they remember why they split.
He was violent.
Yes.
That's not true, Your Honor.
You're not helping yourself.
I have evidence that shows you that stuff that he's done to my property. He's broken into my house. He's broken my door.
She had drugs. She was doing speed.
Oh.
Bottom line.
This is Judge Judy.
Mr. Switzer, you and the defendant were married from when to when?
From 94 to about 2010, I believe.
You were divorced in 2010, but then got back together again.
We did.
In what year?
Well, technically, we've been off and on seeing each other since the time we met.
Yeah, but there came a time that you got back together again and you proposed.
Okay, just
or
recently
she
we got back.
And then she became your fiancée.
Yes, ma'am.
Month and year.
October 12th of 2019, or 18, excuse me.
At the time that you proposed, were you living together?
No, we were not.
Okay. And so you subsequently signed a lease with her.
Correct.
When did you sign the lease?
I signed it on 5/1/2019, and she signed it on 5/25/2019.
And when did you move in?
I was living there already.
Okay, so she moved in with you.
Correct.
And she signed a lease.
Correct.
And you lived together for how long?
Well, she never moved in. She backed out before she moved in.
Okay, so she signed the lease May 25th.
She started moving in, Your Honor. She brought some stuff over. Sorry.
At the time she signed the lease, was she living in your apartment?
No, ma'am.
Is that correct?
That's correct, ma'am.
Did you ever move into that apartment?
No, I did not.
So you understand that with regard to the landlord, you are responsible for the rent.
Absolutely. But I had spoken to the landlord.
Don't tell me what you spoke to the landlord. I'm not interested.
take me off the lease.
Unless you have a document from the landlord releasing you from the lease. Do you?
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
That's incorrect, Your Honor. She hasn't been released from the lease.
I don't want to hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not releasing me from the lease. It's just an understanding of me being taken off the lease per the landlord, per Jerry.
I just want to see this.
Yes.
This is nothing. That's a nothing. That doesn't relieve you from paying rent to the landlord.
Okay.
And when you signed the lease on May 25th, did you have an arrangement with Mr. Switzer with regard to how the rent was going to be divided, if at all?
Vaguely. It went back and forth.
Well, I'd like to know what that meant. It went back and forth.
It went from different amounts, Your Honor. So if I was to take the big room, it was going to be a certain amount. If I took the smaller room, it would be a certain amount. So, and we never decided which room I was going to take.
You were engaged to be married. I mean, it was...
That's just not true what she just said.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
You know, I'm going to throw you both out because it's late in the day. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed with the world today. If you're going to talk to each other, I'm going to kiss you goodbye. Bird is going to escort you to the exit.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. You were engaged to be married. You had a two-bedroom apartment, a big bedroom and a small bedroom. My husband and I referred to that as the master and the snoring room.
Right.
You moved out.
I never moved in.
Well, if you never moved in, how long is your lease for?
It was for 1 year.
Then you're required to pay rent for 12 months. Where were you living before?
Same place, Your Honor. But it was a month-to-month at the time.
Just as Mr. Switzer, is what you're telling me you lived in the same apartment and she was going to move into your apartment where you had been living for how long?
I'd been living there for 3 years about.
You were living there in a two-bedroom apartment.
With a roommate.
Fine.
And I asked my roommate to move out so that she could move in.
And that roommate had been living there for how long?
That roommate was there for 1.5 years prior to that.
For a year.
And I had a roommate before her, too, another one.
And before that, you had another roommate.
Correct.
For another year.
2 years. There was Nardine here.
2 years. You were there for how long?
About 2 years.
2 years. And then why did you leave?
I had an accident. I had a vaporizer explode in my mouth while I was driving. I had to move out of there.
Oh, my God, it's more
Sorry about
information
that.
that I leave. Could you just say I changed jobs? That would be easy. Okay. So you left. And when she decided not to move in May, I'd like to see what efforts you made to get a roommate.
June 1st, she decided not to move in, ma'am.
June 1st. And
Yes.
what efforts did you make in June to get another roommate?
So I started about July of looking for another roommate because I didn't know for sure if she was going to still move in or
I don't care what
not.
you thought for June. She said she's not moving in. You should have started in June.
Okay.
Now, I want to see how you advertised for a roommate.
Okay, so I was on, it's called Silver Nest. It's a...
Show me.
I don't have anything to show you, miss. I'm sorry.
Then you have nothing.